just blow your mind. Talking absolute DC and leaving everything else behind. Sayako, it's the Weird Science DC Comics Absolute DC show. It's the Weird Science DC Comics Absolute DC show. So let's go.
How dare they? Here we are again, Jim. Happy as could be. I'm Genki. Are you Genki? Jim, I don't know why, but you seem to be muted on YouTube. People can hear me, but they can't hear you. What's going on? Okay, great to be here, folks. I was out last night with teachers party
Yeah, I
out on
think
the
that's all a
town.
bunch of bullcrap is what it is. Hey, everybody.
I think
This stupid program, I'm going to kill it. I'm going to put it over my knee and snap it. Yeah. Hey, everybody. I had a big
returned.
intro and I
back.
wasn't. Luckily, you ended up saying something because I don't even have that screen up. Somehow it wasn't recognizing my mic. I believe it is because I have something wrong with my mic.
It's not even
starting to have some
StreamYard either,
problems.
Jim, is it? You can't blame StreamYard because that
No.
always mucks up your mic.
StreamYard
Me
ends
too.
up putting my mic down to like 8, volume wise. But at this moment, it's not recognizing my mic. It happens every time because we're recording this as a podcast, but also live stream over here on YouTube. And when I end up getting on YouTube and whatever, some reason this program now is not, it's not thinking I have a mic
Just
on.
want to shout out the chat as well, Jim. Let's say a big thank you because they were all letting us know. Fear Monarch, Joseph Wolf, Jack Housie,
Yeah.
Jim is talking dog or communicating
Yes.
dog.
I end up, and again, I wish I could say that I was just a dummy and it was muted. It just wasn't recognized. But here we are. Hey, there, and we were already late. So we end up going. I ended up deciding to make my dog a brat at the last second. I had one too on my keto diet, but now I'm sweaty
Lovely.
and I smell like brats. It's not a great smell. I'm in this box down in the basement, which is usually pretty cool, but and I don't mean cool like the Fonz. I mean, it's usually like cool in temperature. It is hot as hell in here. And I was recording earlier. I was recording our regular DC podcast with Brad. Suddenly, I hear thunder, and we're recording, right? Then we kind of take a break because we were doing Supergirl for the Spotlight, and then we were doing
Okay.
Green Lantern Corps for the regular deal. So we took a little break. He had to go take a leak. I'll let you know. And I get out, and the basement was starting to flood again, like it always
What?
does. And I was like, now at this point, the cats are down here, me and the dog are down. We have this, but in the meantime, you end up where we do have a sub pump, so it was kicking in. But boy, it was some trouble.
What was it like, Jim? Swimming with your
It,
dogs
it
and
was.
cats
It
in
was
the
getting
basement?
very hairy. I thought there was some problems coming up, but that's just a little bit of a, kind of a commercial, because if you do want to hear us talk about other things besides the absolute stuff, you can listen to our podcast, which usually comes up on the YouTubes a little bit later, like a Monday or Tuesday. And then in the meantime, you could check out our feed that has the podcast in. But if you want early access and also a little more, because we have a Patreon spotlight, 2 books picked by the badasses, the Get Fresh crew, you could go over to our Patreon, patreon.com/weirdscience. Now, one of the things that we ended up doing, we talked about Supergirl #1, and then also Fire and Ice, whatever in hell nonsense, like whatever, like Road to
cracker.
Hell, whatever
What a
that thing
cracking
is.
lineup.
Yeah, and Supergirl Well, I think a lot of people will like it. It was odd. There was a lot of references, but I do have a theory. I have a theory that I think I'm spot on, but you'll have to go hear about that. And you know, the thing is, I always want to be right. So I want to say my theory, not
Really?
just on the Patreon, because it feels like I'm not letting it out into the world so then I could say, see, I told you so. But in the meantime,
It's true,
we'll have
ladies and
to see.
gentlemen. It's very true. I've already told Jim once this morning. Oh yeah, Jim, you were right. I
Yeah,
had to
exactly.
eat
You
my
had to eat
whatever.
your words.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, I'm a dummy, that I kind of know some lay of the land. I got my ear to the pulse of the streets here. I'm there for John and GQ Public. I don't even know what I'm saying here. Here we go. Here we are. We have Absolute Batman, the big book. This is the, the tent pole book, whatever you call the big top. But this is the big book. And people seem
It's
to
supposed
really
be selling
enjoy
like
it.
crazy, Jim, isn't it?
Yeah,
From what we've heard.
it's definitely the
Really
deal,
well.
and that's why I don't know why. It would be like the idea, me and you, I don't know what we'd be selling. We have a band, and we're like, oh my God, everybody's
soul.
buying everybody's buying every album that we put out. How about we just stop that and combine with 3 other groups and make a super group? Why are you doing this? Like the idea that they want to combine these universes, it seems too quickly. Why are you doing this?
Yeah.
You're making a mint with this. Now, they might be getting greedy and thinking, well, if you combine them, then everything. It's not going to work that way. It's not going to work. People like this as it is. And boy, you cannot start thinking about combining things until the books themselves feel like they are actually in the same universe, and they don't feel like that just yet.
They don't, do
Some
they?
people
Yeah.
argued with me about that in the chat last week, but I don't think they do. They don't feel like they're connected. I want to see some.
That was me, wasn't it?
It
Arguing
might have
with you
been.
in the
I
chat.
want to see some connectivity here before we go, but we'll get into this. It's Absolute Batman. It is issue number 8. And if you are wondering, next issue, number 9, is that crazy Bane deal where you ended up seeing the Pinhead Bane and Nick Dragotta put it out, and then you ended up having some people end up getting all upset about the deal. That will be next month, because this is still Marcos Martin on art. And I didn't love the first issue. I think I'm used to it now. I think it just takes me like an extra issue to kind of get used to
I
things.
think this one looks a lot better.
Yeah, and it's Scott Snyder writing, obviously, and Muntza Vicente, Muntza, on the colors and letters by, hey, the Clayton Coles. Hey, what are you doing there, the Clayton? And you end up having this as a Mr. Freeze deal. It's a little different. It's the son of Victor and Nora. We saw that last issue. I thought we'd get more of a reference to that in this one, but you really don't, because what you get in this one is this double kind of story. You get the friends / rogues. You get them kind of throwing shade at Bruce, saying, why do you want to die? Don't die, whatever. And then in the meantime, you do see of the present where Bruce is trying to break free from Freeze. And it's pretty good.
To break free.
He wants to break free, and he ends up like almost thinking of this conversation he had mainly with Croc, mainly with Waylon, and trying to like figure out, why am I doing this? And I did see some people upset about the idea. Like, the idea is, does he feel like he has a death wish? And I don't think it's quite. I was thinking more about it as this week went on, and I don't know that it's necessarily death wish, but he is pushing the deal when they end up saying, hey, Oswald said that you dropped down on this boat and end up going. You didn't have an escape plan. You're just going up the seat of your pants, and you're going to die. And we like you. We're your friends, and we don't want you to die. But really, I think that when some people were thrown off by it, I mean, Batman himself, I mean, the shit he does in the regular continuity, you could say at points that you even have. If I'm going to reference anybody, I'll reference, my favorite, Tom King. And at the beginning of his Rebirth run, the guy was urban surfing a jet into Gotham saying, Mom and Dad, is this a good death? Is this a good death? And I think that you have, I think that you have Scott Snyder kind of going with the idea that since Bruce ended up not being he was a kid. Again, even in the normal thing, he couldn't save his mom and dad in the alley. In this, he couldn't save them when they were trapped in the zoo and the bat exhibit and his dad went out. But I think he wishes he could, and he thinks that he has to be a hero like his father. His father was a hero in his mind because he risked his life, ended up losing his life. And that's why his friends are saying, listen,
he lost his life to save his friends, to save Bruce and the friends, didn't he?
Yeah,
Jim,
and we find out new stuff, right?
with the rogues who were kind of Bruce's friends in this, that for me that was the weakest part of the issue. Not only because I couldn't tell who was who.
Yeah, they had
drawn
in the
their own
silhouette.
That was a bit of a problem, but I wasn't really sure what he was trying to say with this.
Well, I just think it's the basic thing is I think that Scott Snyder just kind of play the philosophical deal of who does Batman, what is he trying to accomplish? Does Batman, and even in the regular continuity, he's fighting to avenge his parents, but really risking his own life does not make him a hero, and that's not what his parents would like either. And so you have mainly Whalen, who when I see him, he's in that tracksuit. He looks like a beef up like Liam Gallagher over here, right? So I'm looking at him like, that's the only one you can really tell.
He's like, he's calling him a coward. Batman, you're a coward, and so Bruce too. Jesus.
And I think the idea of it is along the lines of maybe you are kind of a coward if you just have a death wish, wanting to just, hey, my dad was a hero because he risked his life. I'm going to risk my life and hopefully I die. That kind of is lame. That kind of is the idea of leaving everybody else behind. And it has that play in my mind of, hey, listen, Bruce, we're your friends. They find out that he's Batman. You don't need to want to die to do what you're doing because your dad isn't a hero because of the way he died. He's a hero because of the way he lived. And then we get a thing thrown in, and it is that play of, Matches was kind of outside, and his dad kind of had to go out and save him as well. So Matches never ended up forgiving himself as well. And Bruce
he
doesn't.
Was the last one in, wasn't he?
Yeah.
And he was kind of late.
And Bruce ends up where he says, or they say, you feel guilty because you ended up. It was your contest win that you were there. We wouldn't have been there, but that's fate. It's almost like blaming the victim. The idea that it was Bruce's fault because they were there, but a kid, and going forward, you would think of all those things. If I didn't win that stupid Bat Bridge, I wouldn't have been. We wouldn't have been there. And it's my fault. And they're kind of going with that. Now, speaking of which, too, we do this live stream just to mention if you're watching right now, you're watching it live, but in the replay, or if you listen to it as a podcast, it's cool to hang out with people in the chat that end up talking and ends up, giving us some more information and some ideas as well. So I'm going to go to the chat right now to see what is going on because there's a bunch of people talking. And, Martin says, hi, Jim, it's Martin. Hello, Martin. And you have Fear Monica says, so you have a sandwich shop? I'm like, already, what is going on? I do, baby. And Dungeon Crawler Carl says, you keep cutting out, which is crazy. I don't know why that would be the case. Yeah, I don't know why. I'm telling you, my mic is a little bit like wonky, I think, but hopefully it's not that bad. And you end up, Brandon says, though, how Batman escaped, give me a break. But hey, it's big dumb Batman. I mean, we'll see. He just jumps out of building, but the guy's jumped from the moon. I could go with that. It's like the Batcop.
That was a crazy moment, Jim, wasn't it? He got overpowered by a load of Mr. Freeze clones or something.
Yeah.
And he just I'm getting out of here. And he dives out the window of the penthouse.
And Fear Monarch said he thought the art was a step down. I actually like it more. I just think I'm used to it. I don't love the art. I don't think it's great. And now
it's very European style.
It is.
Me. It's very kind of Bond.
And I would say right now, are we? Yeah, really. Are we crazy to say this is DC's big book? Right? It's the big seller, and we've already had 2 fill-in artists in 8 issues. That's crazy. I want Nick Dragotta on it because I really do like his art. Then he comes back next issue, and it's that Pinhead Bane. So we'll see how that is.
He's done the cover at least. The cover's pretty awesome. What do you think of his version of Mr. Freeze on the cover?
Yeah, it's
how
pretty
thin
cool.
Are his arms and his legs?
Yeah,
Jeez.
I'm telling you, there he just looks like Nosferatu, Iceferatu. And
shout out to Nosferatu.
Yeah, really. And I don't know. I don't really like the look of Freeze that much in this, but he is very like it's very horror.
He's creepy.
Yeah, he's very
creepy. He's very horror.
He's very.
I love his David Bowie eyes, Jim. The 2 different.
Oh yeah, yeah, it's crazy. I am going to do something now just to see if this fixes things with my mic. I'm going to switch.
Okay.
I do have a little bit of a wonky, like a wire thing, so I'm going to switch that up so you could still hear me, but I can't hear you, Grace. So don't talk. Don't talk crap on me while I'm doing this.
I'll
find out
Jim.
from the chat.
Yeah, right.
I'm still doing it.
You can trust me.
I'm going to end up ruining everything. I should just keep
famous
it
last words.
Normal. I
tell you, for the big book DC, I've got to say, he and Gabe both dropped video reviews.
Hopefully this will make it a little better. I do have to
You've
get.
done
I
nothing,
do have
Jim.
to go get a thing. Oh my goodness! How dare you? How dare you say that to
How
me?
dare
Can you
you?
still hear me? Am I still
Yeah.
going? Okay. So
I think you never cut out. We've been
Oh.
talking over each other for about 5
Well,
minutes.
there you go. I
Sorry,
was just
folks.
talking. I wasn't disconnecting my mic. I have a wire from my headphones to the mic that I think is a little making the mic itself go a little
Maybe you could bite my wire.
Maybe
Jim
deal.
Morrison's famous.
Exactly.
line, to
Yeah.
change the
Yeah.
line to
Really.
RTV.
Yeah. There you go. But so when you have this, Freeze has Bruce. He's talking all sorts of nonsense. Like, hey, and he did this last issue. Hey, accept the pain. I love the pain. I'm going to freeze you. That's what I do. I freeze you. While you have a lot of Gotham elite that are frozen to powers. They even say the gates. I'm waiting to see Ted Williams show up with a tuna can side to his face. I don't know if you'll get that. And also Walt Disney. We talked about this before last week, the idea of all that. And so it's just going to be Bruce trying to fight back and get out while you end up having that inner cut deal with his friends saying, hey, you want to live, we don't want you to die and whatnot, and talking about his dad and whatnot. And he does get to kind of channel that and just jumps out the window. There's really, I mean, if you really go down with it, there's not much happening in this issue. It might be the quickest episode that we have because really there
Jim,
isn't
I've
a
got to
time.
say, I love the fight though when it kind of breaks out, the Freeze and Batman fight. It's just a classic, hero and villain, crazy over the top fight. When Batman pulls that kind of weird mini lighter off his
Oh, yeah,
hand,
yeah.
like, he
And that's
fires it
pretty
into
cool.
Freeze's-
That's basically I'm gonna just set you on fire. And again, I'm
Then Freeze
seeing.
goes all Evil Dead. He jumps up onto the ceiling and he's like grabbing Batman's face. It's unbelievable. I love
Oh
it.
yeah. And then Brandon says he's concerned we are in a path of the next big over-the-top spot that can be exhausted quick. And yeah, people are talking about a bunch of things. Martin says his rankings: Absolute Batman, Dark Patterns, Batman and Robin, Detective, Main Batman, his current rankings. Number one, I think that Dark Patterns is one of the worst books that I've read, and I think it's garbage. And that's what
How dare you?
early on, that is
How
what
dare
Gray
you.
was actually saying that I'm right, because I said that book is nonsense. It's not good, and the whole premise
It's not nonsense.
of
Each
setting up
story
those
started
things.
off
Yeah, that
well,
starts off good
but
and then it
doesn't
fails.
finish well.
Yeah, I
it
mean,
doesn't finish well.
and Hayden Sherman on everything, he was only supposed to be on that first 3 issues. I think it would have served better if you would have had different artists. It would have felt fresh every time it
I
starts.
prefer him on that to Wonder Woman.
Yeah,
I think he's much
yeah.
better on Batman.
Yeah.
He's suited to the
But
dark patterns.
at this point in this there's nobody reviewing the book anymore. You have a review coming out, which will be good, but
Yeah.
nobody's really reviewing it anymore. And I think this next, I actually got an email from DC basically saying, and they don't email me crap on crap. They ended up emailing saying, please, can you talk, not just to me personally, this was to like sites and things. It was basically, please, can you talk about Dark Patterns? This new arc's coming and we really want to, but it 100% means nobody's buying it now. I don't think anybody cares about it. I like, and even then, Batman and Robin is slipping. That book needs to pick it up, but I don't think it's going to, because I think he's been told to drag it out till September. Detective, I thought that ended like ridiculous, that whole arc with what we just got. And the main Batman, I really don't care about Hush 2 that much. The Batman books are hurting. I do like Absolute Batman.
Last Halloween, Jim. That's not too
Yeah,
bad.
yeah.
You
Nobody
enjoyed
even
that,
mentions that. That's the weird one. I think
No,
that
they
might be
don't.
my favorite one, besides Absolute
Yeah.
Batman, and even maybe a little whatever. I do like that. That's the weird play again when they push Hush 2. I get it; they're pushing Jim Lee's art, but in the meantime, holy moly! Like the Long Halloween is the better story, even the original, and then I think it's being done better with this sequel, The Last Halloween. But nobody's really
Did you
talking
see on
about that
YouTube, Jim?
either.
We had Jeff Loeb and Jim Lee. Like they brought out a kind of interview video. I think they're trying to get more sales. Maybe it's not doing that well.
maybe it. I know that at first it was like gangbusters, but I think it might have.
Oh yeah, the
fallen,
first
but-
issue. Yeah.
Yep.
It would be, wouldn't it? It would.
And so we also have, it is actually, it's storming here as well. It stormed all day. It was pretty bad. It got really, like, it ended up getting really sunny at one point, and then it started raining again. There's
Are you
fresh
riding on the
start.
storm, Jim? That's what I want.
I wish. I wish I was a rider on the storm. Never liked the song though. But in that, I'm looking more Gray. You need to see
Cocktail music.
some of my reviews sometimes, and then you have Waiting on the Last Long Halloween for the trade to come out. It is pretty good. Seeing how DC hates weird science, them reaching out to review a book is alarming. It is. It's more of like a generalized deal. I get like few things, but Yeah, and it's not even a joke. Some people always like, "Oh, look at you. You think that they hate you." They've legitimately, the PR guy has told me, has told Scott Snyder, has told everybody that they just hate my guts. So there you go.
Weird
A lot of
science.
people
You
hate my guts.
suck.
Yeah, and they ended up like trying to push us for reviewing things not as positive. And I'm
Jim,
like, we
speaking of
don't play
reviews, I'm
that.
just checking the CBR, the review site, because I'm sure Gabe's done a review, but it's not showing on the
Oh,
Critic
of the Absolute
Reviews.
Batman? Really?
Yeah,
That's
I'm sure
crazy.
he dropped one, didn't he?
No,
No
I
way.
thought he did. Did you see the
Maybe
book
they're
that got
blacklisting us,
the
Jim.
the book that got tons of reviews was Supergirl. That actually got a
Oh
lot
yeah,
of reviews. So that at
new
least
number
there's
one. Yeah.
people, all excited. But even sometimes new number ones don't even work out to get that many reviews. But it's good. But yeah, I'll have to check out. I'll have to ask Gabe.
Oh,
I
unless I
thought
missed
he
it. He
did
gave
do
it a
it.
positive review. No way. Hang on a minute.
Oh,
Maybe
is he
I'm talking
there?
nonsense.
He's actually there
No, it's not
on it?
there. No,
Oh.
it's on the Weird Science DC site.
Maybe they did. Maybe they did ditch Gabe. A bunch of people in the
8.5
user
out of
comments.
10.
Okay, well,
Gabe,
he might be
no
a little
way.
higher than me. But we'll keep going with this. Again, we start talking about other things because at a point, it is just a visual fight. While you end up
Yeah,
like
there's not a lot of story.
Bruce is trying to break free. He's going to break out of this containment. Freeze is trying to freeze him and says, "Hey, in 30 years, you'll kind of get used to it." Like, all right. And you go through that play of, his dad going to help Matches. Matches never got over that. And so you have that big play as they're playing that game in the alley where they're throwing the matches at the matchbox. And then it does go up as Batman also breaks free. And when it goes up, you see that. I'm telling you, it almost looks crazy. That crazy tagging that they have, that Matches Malone like deal on the wall. It kind of looked funny to me. But in the meantime, Freeze is fighting, but ends up like saying, "I'm going to get all these frozen, people there. Everybody who's frozen." But again, they're no threat. I mean, they're there in numbers, but Batman's just like punching jaws off of people. Now, if we had a frozen baby and he ended up booting a frozen baby, it'd be great. But these also, just the idea of it, these are people even before they got frozen. A lot of them seem to be decrepit old men and women who wanted to freeze themselves so maybe they could figure out, and also might have had cancer, might have had some sickness. That's why they froze themselves.
Like Walt Disney.
Yeah. So again,
did you see the reference to the Gates?
Yeah, that was weird.
I was like,
yeah,
what's
so,
going
yeah,
on
I'm
there?
like, oh well. There's. I hope that Melinda made sure that Bill was not close to her. They're not on speaking terms anymore.
I'm in another room. Yeah.
Again, it was funny. It's just all these zombies come at Batman. I'm thinking, oh no, zombies, and then he just starts ripping them apart. He punches the jaw off of the one guy. I'm like, holy crap. But there are numbers. So they are kind of swarming him in. And he just says, I got to break free. Also, he's trying not to, look like he's cold because his blood did go down. He was getting frozen and said, my blood's like slush. I'm having crumbs, all this stuff. Yeah. So he ends up going. That's when they light the matchbox. And then you get this big Matches deal. And I don't know why. It seemed like something that would have been in like American Dad or some weird thing that this would be. He doesn't, it's not like he looks sus. It's what Matches does. And they're looking at him like, look at this dude. But that big thing, do you want to die, Bruce? Do you want to die? As you see him try to fight for his life. And then he jumps out the side of a building. And the idea of this, I've seen this before in Batman Deal, where then he'll get this hook and he'll kind of slide down, whatever. This is done more with the cape. So he's going. But that panel, when he comes out and he ends up, especially on a tablet, it really pops. It's almost like a blacklight poster type deal when he breaks through. Yeah, it's really cool.
It's a great angle, great perspective, but the colors are kind of psychedelic.
They are very psychedelic. And the thing that got me a bit, though, is usually you don't get that colorful in a Batman book. Usually it's night. Usually it's dark. You have a dark color palette. I thought that it was crazy that it was kind of it was kind of psychedelic, and like you said, it's
fancy.
The European deal. And I saw you guys say it's desperate times, and they got a hold of me with a couple like news items and things. Though the one news item that I wanted to see was that new announced Saladin Ahmed like Justice League Red team. They didn't send that. I wanted to know about that. We'll probably be talking about that on the podcast this week, me and you. Did you even hear anything about it?
No,
it's a crazy team. Well, we'll wait. I'll let you be surprised. It's a team, but Saladin Ahmed again doing something with Marvel pretty
Just
much a
taking over the
Marvel
comic
writer
book
coming
companies.
over to
Goodness gracious.
DC. So yeah, the Marvel people always coming over. Japanic
Saying that,
said,
Jim, I did enjoy his latest issue of Daredevil. I really enjoyed that.
yeah, me and you are actually liking that enough. I was
Yeah.
in an issue, I believe it was, I think it was, I can't remember. What the hell was it that I was in? It might have been Miss Marvel, but I have a letter in one of those. And I'm like, hey, everybody. I was just joking around. I was
Did
leaving
you
like
name the letter
references
color,
and
though?
stuff.
That's what I want.
No, I didn't. That's I can't do every letters page, but that's the problem. But Japanic says, I wonder if Bruce's deep feeling for matches comes from the day at the zoo. Could have dared him, leaving him to be last, and Thomas running back to get him. I think that they're all like worried though that Matches did blame himself, and Matches did look like he took a turn for the worst, and he is mentioned by the end of this. But yeah, he does look like a rat. He really does. So it was kind of a weird play. And now you're talking about Japanese manga in the chat. So
Yeah, look at me.
Bruce breaks free, and again, I didn't feel like that. The fight was cool. But I didn't feel like at any point I thought, oh my God, he's in big trouble. Just because the way it's set up and the way it is, I'm like, I don't. They're talking. Do you want to die? What is that, Bruce? You want to die? So I'm thinking that'd be funny if he did. He's just like, yeah, and then they show him he's dead. Book over. But I'm like, yeah, I think that this is set up that he goes. And you have a bit though by the end where as he's falling, his cape is hooking onto the side of the building as he's sliding down, and he tries to get a hold of Waylon because I think at this point he wants to say to Waylon, hey, you know what? You're right. I'm sorry. You were right. I don't want to die. Thanks a lot. You kind of inspire me, because it does seem like all this was him thinking about this as he was doing it. But Waylon doesn't pick up, and he's like, hey, it's Croc's phone. You know the drill. Like one of those. I hate, but like really just, I don't know. You know the
That's
drill.
what I was going to try and get in contact with you. It's this is
hey there.
Jim,
now,
King Werner's phone.
I love the idea when a couple, it's like, it's Jim and Gray, and we're here. I'm like, get out of town. Oh, they're the worst. Or then you start singing songs like George Costanza. Believe it or not, I'm not here. But you end up where he calls and says, listen, there's something in the snow. Because one of the big plays in this is as this is going on, you do end up where Freeze gets a hold of somebody. It seems like it'd be Bane. He gets a hold of him and says, listen, I kind of dealt with this stuff. Even they're aware of Matches Malone. Like, hey, do you think anybody's going to come and see him? And in a really shade talking deal, he goes, nobody of consequence. There's nobody. But again, it ends up being Batman. He's very surprised that Batman shows up. But he says, there's a marker in the snow. Whoever it touches, you'll get their DNA pattern. It does look like they're gathering people who are genetically in tune with whatever experiments they're going to do. And Croc is one of them, and we might just see him turn into Croc now. It might just be the experiment of him becoming Killer Croc, and that would be a shame because I like him.
Turn him into Bane.
Yeah. Well, Bane's already going on with that stupid Pinhead, so I do think that Bane's the one who's running the stuff in Arc M that we end up going to see next issue. So with all that, that's what I thought. At first, I'm like, does this go as big as say the Joker or that? Not, but I think it's Bane. I think it's Bane in Arc M, and this is it's a Scott Snyder thing. It's kind of cool where they use this snow that does have some like nanobites in it to track, which is kind of like a wink wink. You do have the gates mentioned in here, and it was like the idea of, hey, I'm not taking any jab because you're going to end up having nanobites that end up uploading my stuff. It kind of feels like that with the snow, the idea of it where, the big conspiracy and the dark things going on, but that's where they come and get Croc at the end while Batman's trying to get a hold of him and say, listen, I really appreciate it. You really did inspire me, and you're right. You're right. I just wanted to tell you. Batman probably almost like Fonz, to go back to the beginning. He doesn't like to say, I love you. He can't say you're right, but he does. And he says to Waylon, like, hey, you're good. But then you see these people come and grab Waylon, who kind of looks like Sloth a bit by the end. The art gets a little wonky with him. Look at him.
Yes,
he looks a little
specimen.
odd. They're like, get him a Baby Ruth, and he's a perfect specimen. They even have the thing that they even showed on the deal. It took him down a bit easy,
Jim, I got to say, because don't forget, he's a boxer, isn't he?
Yeah, he is.
Gym,
I guess it's the surprise.
He's a tough guy.
They end up making him, the chloroform or whatever, and knock him out. So he just goes down. And then they inject him, and then they get the blood sample and say, yep, perfect specimen. And then I'm looking on like, maybe he was a little drunk. It looks like he was buying some vodka. He's got some bread, maybe some ice cream.
It's
Oh,
me
my
coming back home
goodness
from the
gracious.
convenience
Damn right.
store,
There's
yeah.
sushi, vodka, vodka, and vodka is what you have. You chase the vodka with more vodka. But then you get the end that says next Bane as they go off to Arkham. And yeah, they're outside. And again, there is a bit of clues left. He dropped his groceries. There's blood. So I think that Bruce goes and sees that. And actually, I think it was more wine than vodka. I was thinking that was blood, but I think it's the red wine.
Apples and wine.
Because, you know,
maybe an ice cream.
he's a fancy guy, that Croc. But yeah, so in that, I think that Bruce obviously will be on the case. He kind of gets the play of something with the snow, and he says, "Tell everybody to get inside. Tell everybody that there's trouble." But you have that, and we haven't had a ton of Croc, but I do like Croc in this. I like all of his friends. I like the way that was set up. It's just we haven't really dealt with it. And like you said, in this issue, it just kind of seems like it's being repeated over and over. You're doing the thing in the shadows with silhouettes. That wasn't the greatest either. You could tell Croc because he's got that jumpsuit deal on, and you could tell Riddler because he's got his bling. He's got that stupid, question mark bling like he's Mike D from the freaking Beastie Boys. But in the meantime, I did like it. I like this issue. It wasn't my favorite. He didn't kick babies. So, and I like last issue, I think, a little more because of the shock of this different freeze. And this one, it was a big fight. You kind of go, I think Gabe's a little bit high, and also his score's high as well. He's higher.
I'm high.
Oh, my
I'm even higher,
goodness
Jim.
gracious.
I've got to warn you.
Really, I am
Look at
not.
that.
I'll give you my score first because I always get accused
Okay.
of just piggybacking on the scores. I'm an 8 out of 10. I'm just a straight up 8. I think that's what I gave last issue as well. It's just the idea. I'm excited to see what's up with Bane, what's up with Arkham. But this issue, it was kind of just, hey, let's get this done. Let's have some action. Let's see that the friends love Bruce and they want to, really get to him and say, don't risk your life like you are. Be a little more safe. And then he jumps out of a building, just to prove that he wants to live. And it just felt a little weird at times. But what would you give it?
Well, you know me, Mr.
There we
Positive, I know,
go.
right? I absolutely loved it, Jim. It's become my favorite title out of all the DC Absolute. Like you, I think it's my favorite. Or maybe
I
yours
think
is
Wonder
Woman,
Woman's
I'm
my
not sure.
favorite. Wonder Woman, I think, is still my favorite, actually.
I had an absolute blast reading it. It's like
An
and
absolute
it sounds a bit
blast?
cliched. I know it sounds cliched, but it's like these comics, the Absolute Batman title. It's made me fall in love with the medium again,
Oh,
Jim.
my
I'm back in love with
goodness.
DC Comics.
Holy moly.
Yeah,
Like, what did you
crazy
give
cool
it?
fight
You gave it a
scenes.
9,
Yeah.
right? Is that what you
I
gave
did. I gave it
Yeah.
a 9 on my video review.
Yeah.
I might be an 8.5 now after talking
No,
to you.
you're a
about it.
9.
You've kind of brought me down a bit.
I don't want to
to
bring you down. I liked it. I just thought, again, I want a little more, but I think that you have a fill-in artist for these 2 issues. You get Freeze,
which I
right?
love.
And
It
I
took me a
thought
bit
that
too
it
much
fit.
to him last issue.
I think that the horror element fit this art style. I
Yeah,
just had
that's
to
it.
get
That's
I
what I
had to
liked
get
about
used
it.
to it. But legit,
It
the
was
lay of the
creepy and
land.
weird.
The lay of the land is you do have a fill-in artist, so you can't do too much because then what does Nick Dragotta have? He's the main artist. So what you do is set up Freeze, you work that, get him very, very scary, very like crazed out, and then boom, you come back with something that I think next issue is going to be humongous, as they say when you go to the baths. When you
Ladies,
the baths.
when you go down
How
to the
dare
onsen.
you?
There's no baths. I don't even have a
Jim,
bath
can
in
I-
my house. What am I talking
Can
about?
I do a Gabe here? Can I do a Gabe and just go like clear my throat? Just
Yeah.
let me read from my
Oh,
very
wait
small
till you hear this week.
review.
Gabe actually, I actually, do you realize that when I said that at the end of last episode, I was checking to see if Gabe listened to the podcast as well. I was going to call him out because that was a test, and he passed. He did hear it, and he ended up where he had his scores written down, and he was ready to go. And his excuse was, I review so much that I don't remember my scores. He told me, and I said, what I'm more upset is that me and you talk, and you never waver from the score that you have set in stone. He didn't waver again. He didn't waver again, that son of a bitch. But you could be an 8-8 then. That's kind of between an 8-5
This is a
and
really
a 9.
short summary. Here we go, Jim. This is a blast of an issue. I really enjoyed it. Some crazy cool fight scenes. You get a real feeling of pure comic book fun, with heroes and
Yeah.
villains beating the crap out of each other.
Yeah.
The art's weird, it's creepy, it's a good look for Freeze. And yeah, I like Marcus Martin now. I'm going to look out for his work in future.
Yeah, I like to say Marcus
it.
Martin. to be the
Oh,
have that little
Martine.
that
Yeah.
accent, and I think you're kind of being like, I'm telling you, I always want to when I see like a somebody like Guy Gardner, I want to get fancy and call him Guy Gardner.
Stop making me laugh.
I just like to do the like
Guy.
Guy Gardner,
Guy.
right? You got
Oh,
that?
oh, oh.
Oh my goodness gracious!
What about the
but-
colorist? Try and say his name. It's Munza
yeah,
Vicente.
yeah, I'm
Hey,
telling.
come
Hey,
on.
what is up with you? It sounds like a cheese. This is what it sounds like. Hey, give me some more of that Monster Vicente. I want extra.
Vicente,
Hey,
the
give me
gabagool.
the extra on there. Hey. But yeah,
Jesus. Cancel us, folks. Cancel us.
I
Somebody,
did
please.
like the issue. I just again, I don't want to go too crazy about it because it was just a fight and him remembering his friends saying, "Hey, dude," and more Waylon. I was like, "Hey, bro, you don't want to die, do you?" And then they end up revealing, "Look, we ended up making a big tag deal of matches, and boy, that guy." I wanted somebody to say, "Man, that guy was creepy. That guy was ugly as hell." That's what they're gonna say about me when I'm dead.
Well, listen to this, Jim. Looking at the chart, Japanic agrees with me. He's between an 8.5 and a 9. Brandon's saying he's happy the chin was normal size, his issue.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
apart from the first panel where we first see Bruce when he's being dragged by Freeze, he's got a huge chin in that.
Righteous Lot said the story was an 8, but the artwork was like a 4. And that's the thing. Artwork is always going to be subjective. So you have that.
It is,
it's
yeah.
not my favorite. But I quickly get used to art unless it's by, say, Riley or Rossimo. Like, then I have problems. then I'm really struggling at points. But normally I can get used to the art. I'm more, and it's one of those things. We could talk about it forever. The idea, I'm more of a story guy than a art guy, and then on top of that, I'm more of a
I'm a
character
movie, not a
guy.
fighter.
Yeah, exactly. The funny thing you say that I was listening to a deal with Paul McCartney and Michael Jackson doing that stupid "The Girl Is Mine." Like, what girl are they fighting over? Like, seriously, Michael was whatever, and Paul was already old. They're pretending.
Brooke Shields, I think,
Maybe
Michael Jackson.
at that point, but then
back in
it's
the day.
way too young for Paul.
Oh my
But
goodness.
yeah, this is the deal where I do think that this was a good 2-issue kind of side thing with the side artist. That's why they did it. And then it also gives Nick Dragotta some time to get things going, because I do think this whole play with the Bane is going to be cool. Now, I will point out, too, before we end, there was kind of a dick move. Graham Nolan, who is the co-creator of Bane, ended up just ripping apart Nick Dragotta about that look
Yeah,
of
I
Bane.
saw
I'm like,
that.
what a dick. Like, I like Graham Nolan's art, but boy, that's a dick to throw shade at another artist. You know how tough it is, and people, if they ended up doing it exactly like Bane, then he'd probably be bitching about that too. So I thought that was a real dick move, and really ended up like kind of rubbing
Look
me
at
the wrong
you,
way.
Jim, defender of artists.
Yeah, and
all over the
again,
world.
I'm not even like the biggest Nick Dragotta fan, but it
Don't
would
even
be
like art, do you?
it would be like me. Like throwing shade at some of these reviewers, fellow reviewers. I'd never do that.
Wakizashi Gray, who's that?
That
idiot?
Wakasashi, I could just imagine if I didn't know you and I'd be going through the things and I'd be like, okay, you got this. And I'm like, okay, you got that. Who's this? Wakasashi's Tea House. What kind of name for a site is that? Like, what is he doing there? It would have driven me nuts, but I like it.
What can I say? It was a stupid move, and it stuck with me.
Speaking
now. Oh
of
my
which,
God. What a
I'll tell you
mistake.
one of the things that I had where I thought I was all fancy because Sus Records, the crazy record company, the actual web or the YouTube thing is Sus Records CEO, because I thought I was fancy. I was the CEO, and I'm like, why did I do that? Why did I put the CEO? It's so stupid. But in the meantime, yeah, I actually think people should go, and you have a review where you're more positive, and go to Gray's channel and watch his review for this, because it is a big book. But sometimes when you put reviews up, you think, oh man, this is going to hit. This is going to go. And I don't know. Anytime I think something's going to hit, it never does. And I'll keep saying, too, I said it last week a bunch of times, we're doing this show. I guarantee when we're done, I'm going to end up stopping the stream, and then I'm going to go and we would have lost 3 subscribers to YouTube. It happens every time. It's like one step
the
forward,
same.
2 step back.
Yeah.
It's like MC Scat Cat with freaking Paula Abdul. It's the worst. You think, oh man, like we're putting some effort in. This is pretty cool. I'm like, this is not worth it. I lose more than I gain, but I like doing it.
We're
doing it.
appealing, ladies and gentlemen. We're appealing out there. We need some love. That's
yeah,
what we're just
exactly.
wanting, Jim.
Righteous
Love.
lot.
There's a
Righteous Lad actually says, am I the only one who thought Absolute Bane looks... I'm actually interested in that look of Bane. It looks completely crazy, but you know what else does?
Yeah.
9-foot-tall Batman. You know what else does? Twi'lek baby getting kicked or dump truck Batmobile. All this is so over-the-top crazy, and I love it. I think it's cool. I love it a lot, so I'm there for it. I think it looks ridiculous, but in a cool way. That I think
Batman
is
with
great.
thighs the size of a blue whale. It's unbelievable. Look at those thighs. I can't take my eyes off him, Jim.
Yeah. I'm telling. Brandon C says that Bane must be 500 pounds to 8 to 10 feet tall and has a pinhead. He didn't say that, but he does. I mean, he looks huge. But again, bigger than Kid Juggernaut. You know, everybody's new favorite character. But we're gonna get out of here. But we will end up where we'll get out, but we're gonna stick around for a little and talk a little afterwards, maybe about just some random stuff, but not 4.5 hours. Me and you actually have some stuff to do as well, and you're gonna help me out. You're gonna help me out with the beginning and the news for the DC Comics podcast. So again, while we end this, please, everybody, check out the show notes, the description of this video. If you haven't subscribed on YouTube, if you're watching it there, please subscribe, put the notifications. If you're listening to it as a podcast, maybe join us every Friday night at 7:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on YouTube for the live stream. It's real fun, and a lot of people get involved in the comments, and there's a lot of cool comments going on as well there. And what else do we have? We also have other things. We have a Marvel podcast, all the podcasts. Check out Gray's channel as well, Wakasashi's TLs. I will have the link in the show notes for that as well. But as a bonus, anytime Gray is on, we do have to finish up with the Gray AI outro. And I mean AI because Gray is definitely a Japanese AI. And again, we'll point it out. If you think the song is crazy and that it's not saying anything, it's in Japanese, and it's talking about how Gray is going to take over and kill everybody in the whole entire world because he's a Japanese AI who you better go see his channel. Is what it is. It's there for him, but we're going to get out, but we'll stay a little on the live chat afterwards. And done. Japanese AI. I was going to play the Batman AF song, but I didn't end up doing that. Gray might have ran off to go to the bathroom. He has his mic muted, but I did see.
Brushing my teeth.
I did see Brad. I haven't had. I moved the coffee pot downstairs. It was in the room because I used to record upstairs, and it was just ant city. It's the worst. I ended up trying. I have a Mountain Dew. What's it called? Zero sugar that I was drinking, and for some reason, I don't know why the ants are going after zero sugar, but they were going after that the other day too. It almost made me throw up. I was like, oh my God. And Jack wants you to do karaoke of your tune, which would be cool. That would be awesome. You do like the karaoke in Japan, I hear. That and Godzilla. That's all I know. Godzilla and karaoke. I think that is the real play, and Gray is back brushing his teeth, I think. But hey, everybody. Yeah, I don't mind. It's weird. I was thinking today of the ideas like, I don't like that sugar-free, but boy, I like the zero sugar. I'm like, I don't think there's a difference. I think that is that just the new phrase that they use or whatnot, or is it that they use a different type or whatever, that now they use like a Splenda type deal. But I end up I'm on the keto diet and I'm starting to crave some sweet stuff, which is weird because I never crave sweet stuff. I'm not a sweet guy. I'm a salty guy. If you haven't noticed, but I do like salty stuff. But I am doing that. Fearmonic says the Juneberry Zero Sugar Red Bull is actually really good, though. I might check it out. I might check it out indeed. I end up where I drink or eat a lot of the sugar-free or zero sugar Jello, and there's Jaber. Good night, he says. It's an okay night. My damn basement started flooding earlier, and I thought there was big troubles. I thought that now it's just so humid down in here. I'm just sweaty, and I think Gray has ditched us. He is gone. But in the meantime, like I said before we stop, this week on the podcast, we have most of the books from this week, but I will not be reviewing DC versus Vampires this week. I had a problem with Rocky, who I end up reviewing it with. He couldn't review it. So everything else, though, and on our spotlight, we talked about the new Fire and Ice and Supergirl. And again, I said I have my theory of Supergirl because it was a weird book. If you read it, Sophie Campbell ends up, I like her art, but everybody has that same like bucktooth look. They all look like Squirrel Girl in my mind. But in the meantime, there are a bunch of weird references in that book, like the idea of like everything's a reference. You have thought bubbles, which are odd, but really the thought bubbles almost seem to be editor's notes of, hey, I haven't seen my chromatic comb in a while. Let me try that out. And going, so I did, and we got streaky and even got the Super Rabbit. Supergirl, I think I ended up giving it a 6.5, but my theory is that it's definitely the girl. If you saw the girl that, Kara goes to save in the bottled city of Kandor, that is definitely the girl who ends up being the villain by the end. And it's a specific character from Supergirl's past. I'm telling you, I'll give you the deal. I'll just spell out the deal. But if you want to hear me talk about it, you can go over to the, what's it called? What is the deal? Let me see. I'm trying to find it because I always pronounce her name wrong. But it's a thing I did a Silver Age deal. It's Lesla Lar is the character. She ends up dressed just like her when she's in the bottled city of Kandor, and Lesla Lar is a girl who ends up duping and impersonating Supergirl a lot, ends up in the past doing that, and also can mind control people and uses a lot of tech to discredit Supergirl. So I think that is the big play. She's a character from like the 60s, 1961. She ended up dying in the continuity at one point, but I think this is her coming back. And some of the deal is that play of it was a wonky continuity. Like you're playing things, and people did suggest like, oh, it's like Power Girl. Power Girl was a nonsense continuity. Like this is a weird one in the way that it seems like, hey, we're just going to make everything has happened, and whether or not it makes sense, we're just going to go with it because there's a lot. Kara's gone through a lot of things in that short life of hers. But we end up, because of Supergirl being on our Patreon spotlight, it won't be on the regular podcast. But on the regular podcast for our retro book of the week, me and my man Stork ended up going through the first appearance of Supergirl, which is one of the funniest first appearances ever, mainly because Superman is a dick. He is the biggest dick there ever could be. He is the worst. He is the worst cousin ever. Because if you haven't read it, you have to read it. It is so good. Where Kara comes down, Superman goes and gets her, and then says, hey, who are you? You're wearing like a super outfit. And she's like, oh, I'm from Krypton. And he's like, what? Not on my watch. Like, I'm the last son. There's no way. And then she's like, yeah, I'm your cousin. This is going to be great. I'm going to live with you, right? And he goes, no, you're not going to live with me. I'm going to set you up somewhere else. And takes her to an orphanage. And it's not even a great orphanage. It's like run down. And then she goes, well, it'll be great. I'll end up doing a lot of super things just like you, and I'll be famous. He's like, yeah, about that. I don't want you to do that either. You're going to have to stay hidden for quite some time. I don't want you doing super stuff. No real explanation, nothing. And even the idea when she says, I want to live with you, cousin. And he goes, yeah, that won't work because I have a secret identity. Really? Because she could just be Kara Kent, your cousin. You don't have to do. And also, she could have lived with the Kents, but instead, right to Midvale, right to an orphanage, throws her in there. She starts using her superpowers to clean up her room. I thought that they were going to take her for black magic and put her on a god darn freaking fire deal and set her ablaze. But you end up where in this book, I thought it was better than I thought. I thought that it was a little bit better. I was worried about it. But it's balls to the wall. The thing doesn't settle down, and we'll see how it does. But by the end, I do believe, and you could even look it up to see if I am right with this girl, Lesla Lar. It's definitely spot on. Like even the things of being mind controlled, using a lot of tech. And it's weird at one point, Supergirl goes, yeah, she really relies on that tech, doesn't she? And also, she's flying around and things like that. The idea that she is Bottle City Kendor, she comes out of that bottle. And I think she kind of hitched a ride when Supergirl left. And I think also where you get Lauron, the Wolfman of the Kryptonian set, I think she set that up. I think that she ended up doing something to make him crazed up. That brings Supergirl to the Bottled City, and then she kind of hitchhikes out and then assumes her deal. And in this, it doesn't seem as nefarious. Like, she ends up gooping her with that deal, and there's that P that does look like a Phantom Zone type deal. But also the deal,
using big fancy
exactly.
words.
But yeah, did you read Supergirl?
I've not read it yet. No,
It's
Jim.
okay.
I'm so behind everything. Yeah, this week.
Yeah, it's okay. It's what it is. It's better
It's
than
very bright
Fire
and
and Ice.
colourful. I quite like the art style.
Yeah.
It's Sophie Campbell, isn't it?
Yep,
Do the
yeah,
art as well.
yeah, it's pretty good. Like Fire and Ice. Here's the thing: a lot of people will piss on Fire and Ice and crap on it. It's not great, but it's not as bad as some people think. It's just goofy. It makes no sense. In this, it's Freaky Friday times 500. Me and Simon were having funny, though. There's actually two new characters. There's two new characters in it that I actually like. There's this Mo guy who ends up where he is the brother of Smarty Pants. I don't know if people know Smarty Pants from the first Fire and Ice, but it's a guy who's like, well, he's a guy like an evil genius, but he's got his brains are coming out his ass, and he has like a space helmet around him. It's kind of funny, but Mo is his like brother. And then you have Zachariah Zatanna, the nephew, I believe it is, or cousin of Zatanna. And he's like a younger guy who likes to curse a lot. And it's quirky. It's okay. Again, I don't think it's as bad as Power Girl or that Hawk Girl book was. And again, there's a lot of things that people like that I don't
all
love.
I did, I went to brush my teeth, and then Mrs. Wakizashi guilt-tripped me into putting out the washing.
Really?
To the laundry,
You had to do the laundry. Yeah, I might have to do some laundry coming up.
I had to do like house chores and stuff.
Yeah, really. What is that?
I'm not allowed to waste my time. Like,
I don't have
Batman.
I'm the only one in this house now. It's me, a dog, 2 cats, and nothing. Not even walls. Just sitting here. I actually like the idea where I'm an adult, right? I don't get scared. Last night I ended up where, because I'm in a house that it's all barren. Nobody else is here. And I heard something. I got pretty scared. Even with our dog Mia, she's a real small dog, but she'll go nuts. And she didn't react. So I'm like, then I thought it was a ghost. Like the ghost had tricked Mia. Yeah, if the dog wasn't here, I'd be really scared. I'd be really scared if she wasn't here. It'd be the craziest. Fearmark says, I think Hawkgirl has a special metal for its inabilities. Yeah, and Jim's having that moment in Breaking Bad where Walter's just sitting in his wrecked home at the end. That might be, I'm just here. I'm just hanging. It's the worst. And then my son... Rafe was supposed to come over, and we might even if I tried to make dinner, like there's nowhere to sit. I can make dinner. I actually have the stove now, so I can do a little more, but there's nowhere to sit. Everything's barren. And he was going to come over, and instead of coming over, he asked if he could have $75 so that he could buy stuff for him and Logan, my youngest son. I'm like, well, I guess Dad's not involved. I guess Dad's not going to have anybody coming over to, to see old Daddy-O. Yeah, there's the ghost of Eric's new metal blast beats. I'm telling you, if here's the ghost of Eric, and I'm doing this, I know I'm going to spill something. Here's the ghost of Eric doing it. That's all it is. It's the damn double bass drum going nuts. Yeah, I end up having some of Eric's old his some of his old songs, and I was thinking maybe I'll throw one out there for. I knew that I think he had one for Fire and Ice, so I was gonna check it out. I listened to it, I'm like, I don't even know you can call it a song. It's a bunch of noise. It's a bunch of nonsense. I could say that now. He's gone. I did actually in an Eric update. I did end up following him back because he had unfollowed me on Twitter and I unfollowed him, but I followed him back to see if he would follow, and I was going to ask him if he's reading something. He did not follow me back, so I unfollowed him again. There you are. Yeah, I have to use the blanket. There's no walls. I'm going to the bathroom. It's like open. Yes, laundry. We say laundry as well. I'm just a yeah, are you still? Yeah. Blast beats are just extended double bass fills. Yeah, that's all it is. That is it, and that's all he does. That's here. I'm going to do it again. Yeah, that I can play a little drums here, but a little jazz play there, little jazz flute. And says Eric and those gosh darn double bass and symphonic guitar with 5-minute songs. Those, if you had listened for a while, you would have heard at one point Eric giving me shit because I would do a song for a book and the song would be 2 minutes long. And he'd go, man, I didn't think that would end. What do we do? Doing a rock opera? It was 2 minutes. That guy came in with 6-minute songs and they would drive me nuts. I end up where at points I just I'd zone out. I didn't even know what was going on. You couldn't hear what was going on. Not like the song I'm going to end with. That is a country song. That's a little sus. That's what I'm going to end up doing. Oh yeah, that's it. Jack's right on it. Here's the thing with Eric's stuff, and he did admit that when he writes the songs, he had problems starting them, so he never knew the first line. So what he would do is he'd put into AI. Like, Chat GPT and say, what would be, lyrics for this or whatever. And he would go the first couple lines, he would lift from that, and then he'd kind of write his deal in. But when you do that, you get a lot of, in the alley, in the dark of night, or in the streets where people roam. It's always in something. And, in this, when they go, and in that. And I'm like, oh, my God, they all start. Plus, oh, goodness gracious, I hear some songs going, dun, dun. Oh my goodness! This is like what's it called? The Wasp with Texas Radio. When I was a young boy. There we go. We could do it. But yeah, the songs are like reading The Hobbit. It's true. That sounded like I want to tell you about Texas Radio and the Big Beat. We could do that whole deal. We used to do that with my band. It was great. Dear AI, how do I start a song? My favorite is I even did it. Oh, I love it. I love it so much. I like that. And what's it called? Blood on the Streets is up to my ankle. That's a really good song. I do like the Doors more than I should. But yeah, I was talking when I was talking with Wes this week.
Money, murder, madness.
It's awesome. I did say that if I go with my dirty songs and I end up and I'm like, hey, AI, give me explicit lyrics to a 1940 song or 1950 songs that sounds like it's written by Doris Day, right? What I'll get back is, that is not going to happen. You're awful. That's Doris Day is wholesome. I get admonished by the stupid AI. It starts yelling at me.
Good morning.
And that's the funny thing. Eric, the weirdest thing is the idea of like most people, if you're writing songs, the chorus is going to be the problem. That's where you want to get the hook. You want to get the thing. But first off, he claimed that he was great with the choruses. I don't even know his songs had choruses. Couldn't even tell. It's a throw of shade at Eric's songs. I should end up. Should I put one on at just a little smidgen of one that we could just hear the start and laugh at it? Because I'd like to do that. I don't know why I want to laugh at Eric's songs. Oh, but they ended up
You're just
killing
jealous because his songs are better than
maybe
yours.
That's the deal. Well, also what I did at one point, I did end up reading the names to Stork the one day. And because of how he did them and they sounded, the program would give you song titles. Everyone's like the same. It's like echoes of this, betrayal of that. I don't even know. There's right here. There's even one. There's betrayal of shadows. The next echoes of betrayal, and then echoes of fusion, fading spotlight, feral. Oh my goodness. Anybody? Bruce's failure.
I miss you.
Yeah,
Eric.
yeah. I don't
Come on,
know.
admit it, Jim,
I ended up following him again on Twitter, and he didn't follow me back.
Yeah,
So I think he's
I
done.
know.
I think he's
Now you
done.
have to unfollow him and refollow him
Oh,
like
I was
10
gonna.
times. until-
There, how about Caught in the Storm? I don't know any of these. I want something to start with, like just crazy double bass drum and nonsense. Caught in the Storm sounds like it's something crazy, right? Here, wait, here it is. I'm not gonna play it all, please. Oh, this is like a dour start. I didn't expect it. I don't remember this. Are you
Ooh, this is kind of creepy.
Are you liking it? All of a sudden, it's going. He
am.
likes both.
Me.
He likes both types of music, new and metal. What is going on with this? Here, number one, this song's already gone on too long. What is
This
happening?
sounds like a soundtrack.
Maybe this is something else.
Jim, you're breaking up. Is your mic okay?
Your thunder's loud. It's calling
Can you hear me
my
still?
name. A restless
fine.
force I can't contain. Dad's the light, Jen's the spark so clear. But I'm the
didn't know
shadow
Eric had such a
judged
beautiful
in
voice.
my
rear.
I'm breaking loose. I'm breaking free. This power's a curse or it's part of
I
me.
need a wee.
Trying to rise, but I'm falling fast. Caught in the
You
storm.
better not put it in my ass.
We pierce,
See, I can do it too.
We pierce the storm.
Oh my God.
Through the dark, together we're reborn.
With a giant
we
horn.
rise, we'll light the sky.
I think I wanna eat the hair pie.
We pierce,
Try to sing too high now. I'm losing my voice already.
through the cave.
All right.
Goodness gracious, ladies and gentlemen.
We're
Welcome
here
to the
in
Weird
the
Science
rear.
Karaoke Show.
Oh, yeah. There you go. There
Edward
you
saying sounds
go.
like an effing Disney song.
Yeah, it did, didn't it? Like, screw that. He ended up. I have some funny one. I have one that was like a Disney song that was for the Zod book, and he also I have a Blue Beatles song that Eric would never let me play. I could play it now. It's a
I
little.
still love your Wet Leg song, Jim. Your
Oh,
Wet Leg
yeah,
is awesome.
yeah, and I
It's one
can't.
of my
I can't
favourites, but
do that.
You get hit, don't you, for YouTube for that?
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
not YouTube. It's the recording company.
I'm gonna see if I can end up
How
if I
dare
can
they.
get this Zod song that I did have that, and I had one that was really I think it was a Sinister Sun song that I made it try to sound like it was. Oh no, Sinister
Don't
Sons
you
might
call
have
a
sounded
call
like
asking for
yeah.
no Lane Staley?
Yeah, really. Oh, where is this? The Zod song. I'll play it. Like this could just be a memory lane of old songs.
Zod.
Yeah, the Zod, the
Kneel
Kneel Before
before
Zod.
Zod.
Eric hated that song. I'm trying to reach over and get it here.
Okay, is it one of yours?
Oh yeah,
You
yeah.
need to
It's,
reach around over there.
it my
Jesus.
Zod thing. There's Kneel Before Zod, but I think that's that's a what's it called? That's a parody
That's-
to Come
very
as,
heavy.
Come As You Are. Is what that one was. But the
Kneel-
Zod, this
Kneel
Zod
Before Zod.
theme, Eric hated, and it was like again. I tried to put a little humor in the songs, not him. He was friggin' it was dead serious. He meant, and then we would get done, and in between the sections, he'd be like, "Man, that song was awesome, wasn't it? Like that was a real awesome song." He kept saying, "I'm like, it was interesting." I'd never like, and then he would get mad. Maybe that's why he left because I wouldn't give him full compliments.
This is
what
taking me
ended
back
up.
to the Battle of the Bands, Jim, that you and Eric were doing. at
Yeah,
one point.
remember we were
that?
doing that? And I'm like, I don't know,
Yeah.
Eric. Your songs don't really have a lot of.
No
I think
way.
even people
I wanna
saying
watch
about
Bill
the
and Ted now.
structure. Here, I'll see if this is the Sod theme.
Burn it down, burn it down. Does it even matter anymore? Burn it
This is supposed to be Sod singing, by the
burn
way.
it down.
It sounds like him, right?
It doesn't matter anymore. There's not much
Who was
more
Sod's lady
to
friend? I've forgotten the
say.
name.
They
Zora.
only
Laura.
see me as a villain
See, it's a heartfelt deal that he wants people to see him as a hero.
A dream was crushed dead out in space tonight. I buried it along with my bitch wife.
See, there you go, bitch wife. It works.
Had a killing spree.
That's the voice to have when I read Zod says him on it.
This was supposed to be a parody of Let It Go, by the way. It's all it was.
Burn it down, burn it down. Does it even matter anymore? Burn it down.
just like Zod.
anymore.
I think it sounds great. There you go. I want to play that Blue Beetle song that he never let me play. It was so good. I don't know why this episode turned into the hit parade, but I need you to do your Casey Kasem and tell me that this is a long distance dedication to a dead dog. That would be pretty good. That would be here it is, the Blue Beetle. Again, Blue Beetle.
Casey Kasem reminds me of Ghostbusters.
Blue Beetle, he's a little Hispanic, so I might have went a little overboard with maybe some, some type of music here. Eric would not let me play it. I'm like, do you think it's that bad? And he's like, it's bad. Somehow I think the Sinister Sons, I never finished it, but I believe this one was a bit of Van Halen. So, dude, this is... Oh, maybe not. No, this is the one. This is the one that I made it, and this is supposed to be straight up Disney, and it drove Eric nuts, and he wouldn't let me do this either. Here.
Sin son, he was left all alone. Thorsten Estro was his father. Lorzad, forced to leave his home, doesn't know what happened to his mother. They ran into each other, and they soon set sail. Met their buddy Spaceman Joe, ended up in a whale.
Hey. Yes, I need attention. None of these were allowed to be played, is the problem. But there is one. I did have one that was a Sin Son one, but it was a Sinister Sons, but it sounded like Van Halen. I can't find it. I like
Sinister Sons, they're coming for your mums.
I think the best Van Halen one I did, we have that one, the Absolute Power one that I liked, but I do like the Walking Dead thing. That was pretty good. That was a pretty good one. But now I don't see that other Sinister Son deal. Oh, that sucks.
You still haven't topped your Animal Man song, Jim. But
yeah, I actually talked about that today. That's
you've
like
got
one
hit
of my
for that
favorites.
because it's so close to it. It sounds like Oasis.
Yeah,
Even though it's not. It's
yeah,
not the song. It's the voice, isn't it? Can you get hit for a voice?
Maybe. I don't know. But yeah, that was like a Don Bluth type deal. And we're winding down, but now I want to play that Absolute Power. I'm telling you, I'm just gonna play shit. This is how we're ending. We're gonna end
Absolute Power. It's a cracker.
We're gonna end with a couple of songs.
Anyway,
yeah, we're gonna leave.
We're losing numbers.
Whatever. It's just the end or whatever. So we're gonna leave with a couple songs. We'll do the Absolute Power theme that I always did like. Again, where is I can't type it in this damn box that I'm in. You can't see.
It's those ants. They're all over the keyboard. They're everywhere.
I just had to get a new keyboard because I ended up, what's it called? I ended up having problems, and I had.
Well, your hobby's spilling coffee on your keyboard.
Yeah, that's what happened. So, and I'm looking. Oh, there's Absolute Power, but there it is. There it is. So we'll do that, and then I'll also play. I should play this. I might play a little of the Blue Beetle, and then I'm gonna leave with a Sus song. But we'll end up with that. So we will be getting out of here at some point. I may just have. Hey, I was going to do it with Sus Records and just have every Saturday night have like a dance party where I just play random songs and take requests and things. I want to do that eventually, but it doesn't really work here, especially because a lot of the songs. What's that?
Can I shout something out?
Yeah.
Very briefly. From I think it's 9 p.m. Central. I'm going to be on a friend's channel on YouTube talking about his trip to Japan.
So, your buddy that went?
Real life form. I'll drop it in the chat.
That'll be cool. Yeah, so everybody go and see that. So we're just going to do a couple things. Like I said, I'll play my favorite Absolute Power song. Then we'll play a little bit of the Blue Beetle. I don't think I'm going to play all of it because it's hateful. Not hateful, but people do that. And and I used to post the songs. I used to love putting the songs up, but and really, for the longest time, I said to Eric, I want to put these dirty songs, parody type things. And he's like, not on the Weird Science. So I didn't do it for a while. And then I saw some guy was doing it. And then, the mixtape I do like.
Yes,
those are pretty cool. Those are pretty cool. Do it. Here we go. We're going to go off. So thanks, everybody. Thanks for hanging out with us. You can enjoy or not enjoy. You can just bail is what you can do. But we'll start with Absolute Power. Then we'll go to the Blue Beetle. And then we'll end with a country song. That's about being balls deep. So you'll all love that. But here we go, and thanks, everybody.
Everyone these days has has something to be afraid of, but everyone should know what our heroes are made of. But after night terrors and beast will come and gone, everyone's afraid of both the brains and the brawn. It's all part of her plan. Yeah, Amanda Waller is the man. She's going for absolute power. Yeah, she wants it all. She's going for absolute power. Oh, she's heading for a fall. She's going for absolute power. Somebody stop the wow! Well, it doesn't look good on Earth or out in space. She's got a brainiac queen and a robot failsafe. Better not forget she has her suicide squad. She has brain bombs attached so they don't wander off. It's all part of her plan. She's got the Batman. She's going for absolute power. Yeah. She wants it all. She's going for absolute power. Oh, she's heading for a fall. She's going for absolute power. Somebody stop! Stop the wow! It's all part of her plan. Yeah, Amanda Waller is the man. She's going for absolute power. Yeah, she wants it all. She's going for absolute power. Oh, she's heading for a fall. She's going for absolute power. Somebody stop the wow!
Jaime Reyes graduated from high school. His parents sent him away, yeah, that's not cool. Scarab wasn't talking much, and Jaime was a whiner. He had to bust tables and do dishes at his aunt's diner. Now the horizon made their own scarabs, gave them to some girls whom they failed to teach. Let them loose and they went after Blue Beetle. Yeah, that's such a reach. Blue, green, yellow, red, all just swirls around in my head. Red, yellow, green, blue, does it do the same for you? I can't really tell the difference between them either. I wish I knew which one was knitted up.
a bit of a nut job, and Michonne is a badass. Andrew's wearing Dale's hat, and Glenn is not gonna last. And Carl is a rootin' tootin' cowboy. He's never gonna be the same. Carl is a rootin' tootin' cowboy. You know he killed Ben and Shane. It's the Walking Dead. Don't know what's going on in there. It's the Walking Dead. We are all the Walking Dead. It's the Walking Dead. Hey, better get a grip. It's the Walking Dead. Eugene is still a piece of shit. Get up! Well, it's Friday night, and I'm looking good. At least that's what I say. Alright. There's a gathering at the Second Star. You can't keep me away. No way.
Get in line, you're doing fine. Now just wait your turn.
And don't be alarmed the next day if it burns.
Going to a glory hole.
Everybody,
Going to a glory hole.
come on now. Well, I'm up next and I'm feeling good. At least that's what I think. Alright. With all these guys, hard to get a wood. And man, this bathroom stings PU.
Pull it out and put it in. It's finally your turn.
Yeah, the cream is about to churn.
Going to a glory hole.
Everybody,
Going to a glory hole.
come on now. Oh, this is what I'm talking about. I'll watch the teeth. Yeah, that's better. I really like the way your mustache feels. Wow. I love how big your Adam's apple is.
Going to a glory hole.
Everybody,
Going to a glory hole.
come on now.
Going to a glory hole.
Everybody.
Going to a glory Going to a glory hole. 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 Going to a glory hole.
Everybody.
To a glory hole.
Come on, get up.
Going to a glory hole.
As you can see, I'm a big ass girl. There's a lot down there to get. But if you want me to feel anything, I need more than just a tip. I guess you can say I'm a pleasure seeker, and that's why I need This gal needs it.
Balls deep.
Balls deep feels so right. I wanna hear those balls a slapping. I wanna feel those cheeks a clapping. If not, I guess I'll just go back to sleep. 'Cause this girl needs it.
Balls deep.
I need it balls deep. I'm not trying to beat around the bush. You know that's not how I play. You can't even put it in my tush, but you need to stick it in the hole